Hello, you guys. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. It is Super Bowl Sunday, the day that I am filming this. The Super Bowl has not yet started. And if we want to really get into it, who are you guys rooting for? By the time this video posts, we'll know who wins the Super Bowl. I have to say, as a Minnesota Vikings fan, the Eagles have always been like a top 3 most hated team for me. Like, hate the Eagles ever since they beat us in the NFC Championship. I believe it was in 2017. And unless you are like an Eagles fan, everyone complains about Eagles fans being just like not kind humans. So I'm sitting here being like, who do I root for? I really like Andy Reid. I actually really like Patrick Mahomes. I have nothing against the Kansas City Chiefs. I just feel like they're like becoming one of those teams that's kind of like the New York Yankees, and it's just like they're always there, and it's just like, you know, I'd like to see a new team win. So I'm like torn, because I also really like Jalen Hurts, who is the quarterback for the Eagles. I'm torn. Like, I don't feel like as a Minnesota Viking I have it in my heart to root for the Eagles, but like I feel like there's a small part of me, I hate to say this like out loud, I feel like there's a small part of me that wants the Eagles to win tonight. I don't think I necessarily care, but I do like to go into the game having a team that I am rooting for, because it just makes it all the more fun. I'm so grossly competitive that like I feel like I need that for myself. But would love to know in the comments, now that we know that, like, are you guys happy with who won the Super Bowl? Maybe I'll do a check-in tonight after the Super Bowl has concluded, but this is not the purpose of this video, to chit-chat about football. Maybe I should make football videos. But I have decided to do monthly reading vlogs on my channel, just to incorporate books and reading and another passion of mine onto my channel. But this may or may not be the first book video I'm posting on my channel. I just am not going to do my book channel anymore, because for some reason reading wasn't fun when I had a book channel, because I like put way too much pressure on myself that I had to read like 10 books a month, and if I didn't, then I was failing. So I would like speed through books, and by the time I finished a book I needed to start another book right away. And it just, like, when I was getting close to the end of a book, I was like just trying to get through it so fast that I feel like I wasn't enjoying reading anymore. So I feel like if I don't have as much pressure on myself and I just share book content from time to time on my regular channel, if you like books, happy watching. If you don't like books, you don't have to watch it, obviously. I think that's what I'm going to do going forward. So it is the month of February, and I primarily love romance reading anyway, so I do plan to read mostly romance books throughout February. So I just got back from a work trip in California, and I did film footage of me like trying to pick what books I was going to bring to California before I left, so I can insert that into this monthly reading vlog. I just got out of the shower, my face is breaking out, I just self-tanned, and now I'm adding to the stressful decision of what books I'm gonna bring with me. But after much debate with myself, I think I finally decided, because Valentine's Day is coming up, I do want to read, I bought X's and O's by Amy Lee. So I'm gonna bring this one with. And then I also recently purchased Funny You Should Ask. Funny You Should Ask? Yeah. And I can't remember what video I was just watching, but someone was talking about how much they really enjoyed this book. So I thought these would be like appropriate Valentine's Day books. But I'll also be bringing Finlay Donovan Knocks 'Em Dead. I am about halfway through this, so I'm hoping to finish this tomorrow at the airport, on the plane, whatever it might be. I'm a little annoyed with myself I didn't finish before, because now I'm bringing 3 books, even though in my head I'm like really wanting to bring It Happened One Summer, but I also feel like I should wait until the actual summer to read this one. Like, I feel like because I'm going to be in California, I'm like, I'll be by the beach, like, but I feel like I should wait. I also I'm bringing with me my iPad, so I have like Kindle Unlimited on that. I'm planning on reading Heart something by Elise Silver, something like that, about like someone in the rodeo. I'm super excited to read that one too. So I'm gonna put this back. I'm gonna put this back, and we're just bringing these 3. That is the final decision. But an update, I did only end up reading finishing, I should say, one book while I was on I keep wanting to say vacation. It was not vacation. I was on a work trip, a long work trip. But I only ended up finishing one book, which was Finlay Donovan Knocks 'Em Dead. And I will say I gave the first Finlay Donovan book 5 stars. This is like 5++ stars. I enjoyed this one even more than I did the first Finlay Donovan book. This was just so hilarious. Like, I was actually laughing out loud on the airplane. The person next to me probably thought I was absolutely crazy, but I was laughing out loud reading this book. Plus, I feel like Finlay in this book just has more like confidence in herself and more of like a sense of self, and it was just really fun to like read and see her growth from the first book to the second book. And I loved this book. I also purchased, I should go grab it. So I actually found Finlay Donovan Jumps the Gun at a bookstore in the airport. So obviously I purchased it. It's funny because like the day or two before I left for my trip, I was thinking about purchasing this on Amazon. I was like, I'll just wait till I get home. And then this was in the airport. So I purchased this. I haven't yet started it. I actually started 2 different books, which we will get into, but I am really excited to read this one. And if you guys have read any of the Finlay Donovan books, would love to know like your thoughts. Did you love them? Did you hate them? I love the series. It's just like a breath of fresh air for me because I feel like I read so many romance books, and this is just like a fun, funny, like cozy mystery just situation. Love it so much. So my current read, what I'm about to continue reading after I film this. Okay, I'm just gonna post a picture. I'm like, why am I opening my iPad to like hold it up here and show it? But I'm reading, is it Heartless I think, or is it Flawless? The first book. It's either Heartless or Flawless. I'll have a picture over here by, who's the author? Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm looking it up. Okay, it's Flawless by Lee Silver. I am about 40-ish% of the way through this book. I read this on the way home from California and a little bit last night. But I have been loving this book. It's an enemies to lovers romance, and it is about Rhett and Summer. Summer is basically like a PR person, which I started out my college journey wanting to go into PR, so it's like near and dear to my heart in that way. But she basically has to become like a babysitter, like an adult babysitter for Rhett, who is this hunky, handsome bull rider cowboy. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like yes. Love me just like a wholesome cowboy, except for he's not wholesome, which I would also be okay with, you know? So he like gets himself into trouble with like something he says, and she's basically trying to save his career, so she has to like be with him at all times to keep an eye on him. Enemies to lovers, I haven't gotten to the spice yet, but boy, I like literally can't wait because I feel like it's gonna be so good. Like the angst and the tension building up to this is like, it's so good. And I also feel like the banter is really good. I love Summer just because she's like a firecracker. Like she's super feisty. She's not this like wholesome, like sweet girl, which I can really appreciate. So I've really been enjoying that. I'm hoping to finish that book potentially tonight. It depends on how interesting the Super Bowl is. Like if it's not super interesting, then I could see myself like reading and watching the game. But if it's like a super close game, then I probably won't finish that book tonight. But I also have the other books that I want to read, and I'm just gonna read the rest of February, and I'm just gonna share them with you. So I forgot one. Okay, that's because it was still in my suitcase, and it is, the one that was still in my suitcase is X's and O's by Amy Lee. This, I don't really know what it's about. A romance novel. Obsessed social media influencer revisits her exes on her hunt for true love in this romantic comedy. So it's a rom-com. It's about an influencer, which I think will be really fun to read about. And the love interest in this book is a Boston firefighter. So I feel like this is gonna be a really fun one. I have not heard much about this, but I can't remember who I've seen one person talk about this and they really enjoyed it, so I'm super excited to read that. And then I brought this with me to California too, and I was reading this a little bit, but I want to read at least one Kindle Unlimited book a month, and it just was easier for me to bring my iPad on the plane rather than like whip out a paper book on the plane. But I have Funny You Should Ask by Alyssa Sussman, and this is kind of like not giving me like PR vibes, but this is about like an article that the main girl in this, Chani, is that her name? She wrote an article about this like famous actor, and 10 years later she's writing an article about him again, and it sounds like there's more of a history between the two of them than like the public knows about. And I'm only like 30 or 40 pages into this, but I've already enjoyed it quite a bit so far, and I feel like I'm really gonna enjoy this one too. I feel like this is just written differently than a lot of the other books that I have read lately, which is nice because I feel like I've been in somewhat of a reading slump. Like I just haven't, aside from Finlay Donovan, which I've really enjoyed this, I feel like January just was like not a good reading month for me. And December I barely read at all. So I'm just like in the mood to fall in love with some good books again. So I plan to read this one. Also, I do have these two, which I'm super excited about. So I pre-ordered Final Offer by Lauren Asher. I cannot wait to read this. It's the third book in the Dreamland Billionaire series, and I feel like I'm gonna like this one. Like I'm gonna love this one the most. And the other two I've given 5 stars to, so I literally cannot wait. It's about Cal's second chance romance, I think, and Cal is my favorite of the 3 brothers, at least the way that it's been written so far, so I can't wait to read this. This is quite a chunky book though. It's almost 600 pages. So that's a little intimidating. And then also I have the 4th book in the Never After series. This is Twisted. This is by Emily McIntyre. I absolutely love the Never After series. Hooked and Wretched are 2 of my absolute favorite dark romances that I've read. I haven't read a ton of dark romances, but I absolutely love those 2. Wretched was the most recent one I read, and it was so freaking good. So I'm super excited for Twisted. I believe this is in Aladdin. Yes, this is an Aladdin reimagining. So very excited about that. And then I just have 2 other books that I pulled that I potentially want to try and get through. I don't necessarily know that that's going to happen, but you guys, I still have not read The Great Undoing. I think it's because I love this series so much, and I'm just like, it's almost like that like expensive makeup that you have that you save for special occasions because you don't want to use it up. It's almost like I don't want to read this because then I know I'll have to wait for the next book to come out. I am thinking I'm going to reread the series. Like I love it that much. I think about the series every single day. So you're probably wondering like, why girl haven't you read this yet? I don't know. It's just like I love this series so much. I don't know what I'm gonna do when like I've read the entire thing. I can't get enough. And then finally, I recently picked up The Kiss Quotient by Helen Wong. I've heard really good things, like nothing but good things about this book, and I just felt like it would be a perfect book to read in February. But that is where we're at. Those are my reading plans. So my plan now is to go read more of Flawless, and I eventually want to read Heartless as well. But yeah, maybe I will check in tonight during the Super Bowl, maybe I won't, we shall see. Yeah. Hello, you guys. It is quite a number of days later. The Super Bowl has come and gone. The Kansas City Chiefs did indeed win, which I'm not super mad about. In fact, I feel like I went into the game wanting the Eagles to win, and then at halftime when it looked like it was potentially going to be a blowout, I was like, ugh, I don't actually want the Eagles to win anymore, I don't think. And the Eagles did lose. Sorry if you're an Eagles fan. But it's quite a number of days later. I'm waiting for my nails to dry. I just painted them, and I feel like, yeah, I've already chipped that. It's me having like good nail polish is just impossible. That's why I've been loving like the Dashing Diva press-on nails. Anyway, this is not about nail polish. Last time I left you guys off, I was 40% of the way through Flawless, and now I am 75% of the way through. I have about 95 pages left. I do intend to finish the book tonight, but I wanted to pop in for a check-in because last time I left you guys, I told you that like there was so much tension and like angst built up, and I was so excited for the spice. And when I tell you that it did not disappoint, it definitely didn't disappoint. The first spicy scene was 20 pages of spice, okay? We're talking 2 full chapters, 10 pages from Rhett's point of view, 10 pages from Summer's, and I was all here for it. It was so good. I am absolutely loving this book. I just finished reading Finlay Donovan Knocks Him Dead before reading this, and now I'm reading this book, and I've had 2 books now that I've read in a row that I feel like are just so good and really getting me out of my reading slump. I'm really excited to continue on with this series. There are 2 other books currently in this series, and I truly cannot wait. I love Elise Silver's writing style. I just feel like it reads really quickly. It's kind of just like a cozy, like, good time, and I'm all here for it. I love both characters in this book. I'm huge on like character development, and I have to feel connected to the characters for me to really love a book. And I feel like Summer is just like so relatable and has like really like dry humor. I don't know, there's something about Summer's character that I just really can connect with. And then I just absolutely love Rhett as well. He is super grumpy, but like just in the best way, and their relationship, I love them together. I'm super happy with the book so far. I am hoping to finish it tonight. I likely won't update you when I finish the book tonight. I'll probably fall right asleep, but next check-in will be hopefully me completing this book and letting you know what book I will be picking up next to read in the month of February. I would like to read at least 2 more books in February. It is currently February 16th, and I feel like I'm very behind on reading. So there's that. But that is it for this update. I will check in with you guys when I finish Flawless. Hello again. I have officially finished Flawless, and I loved that book so much. If it is on your guys' wish list to read, I truly cannot recommend it enough. It's one, so I read it on Kindle Unlimited, but I will be buying the physical copy. I almost jumped right into reading Heartless, but then I told myself, girlfriend, you pre-ordered books because you were so excited to read them when they released. So I decided last night to pick up Final Offer. Even though I'm terrified, by the way, if you can hear my dryer, I do apologize. I'm trying to dry my bedding so that I can cuddle up in some warm sheets. This is almost 600 pages, and I'm nervous to pick it up because I'm worried I'm only gonna read like 3 books in February. I've only finished 2 books so far in February, and it is currently February 19th. So I'm a little bit concerned about that, but I was excited to read this. I'm so excited to read this, so I decided, you know what, 600 pages, that's a challenge that I am ready to take on. I did read 50 pages. I'm on chapter 6. I read 54 pages last night, and I will say they did read really quickly, so I'm hopeful that I can still get this, like, bang out this book quickly. I do want to, let's see, I rearranged a bunch of stuff today. I'm like, where is everything? I do want to reread. It'll be like my first reread possibly ever, with the exception of I reread Holes. Oh my gosh, I should read Holes for like a 3rd time. That was like my favorite. Now I need to buy Holes and reread that. That was my favorite book growing up, and I reread it when the movie came out, but I really want to reread Daisy Jones and the Six before the show comes out. This book I read when I like would just like pick up a book here or there and read, and I just remember like the feeling after finishing this book. It was so good. Taylor Jenkins Reid, I mean, one of my favorite authors, one of Minnie's favorite authors. So I would love to reread this. This is the book I'm going to pick up next, even though I had all these like romantic reading plans for February. I do really want to reread that before the show comes out. And also, did you guys see that they're coming out with a movie for One True Loves, which was only a 3-star read for me, but I feel like it could go one of 2 ways. Like, the movie could either be really good or really not good. I'm rambling at this point. I am 54 pages in, so I have barely scratched the surface of this book, but I will say so far I'm so excited, and I feel like this is gonna be my favorite of the 3 of the trilogy. I rated both of the previous 2 books in the Dreamland Billionaire series 5 stars, and I hope that this one does not disappoint. Cal is like my favorite of the brothers, and based on the first 5-6 chapters, I already am like, this is gonna be a good book. So I probably won't check in until tomorrow night. I'm gonna go take a bath, read, and then snuggle up in my warm sheets and read some more, and hopefully, you know, I'd love to read 100 pages tonight, but we'll see. We'll see when I check in with you guys tomorrow. Hey you guys, popping in for a quick check-in. I feel like I look in disarray. I just got home from working at like 11 hours and then I ate some pasta. So my face is like all but worn off. We're looking disheveled. It's fine. I wanted to quick pop on and give an update about the final offer. I am on page, not this, I read more last night, I think 224. Yes, I am on page 224, and you guys, I am absolutely loving the final offer. So I loved the first two books, but the final offer follows Cal and Alana, and Cal is the third brother in like one of three brothers. I'm like, what am I trying to say? And he is much different than his other two brothers, Rowan and Declan, in that Cal is just much more like easygoing. He's not like grumpy like Rowan and Declan were, and I just love his character. I am swooning over him. Him and Alana is like the tension between the two of them. They're like ex-friends, so it's like ex-friends, enemies to lovers. It's also a single mom trope. Alana has the most adorable little 5-year-old girl, and the scenes with Cal and Cammy, who is Alana's daughter, I literally just can't. It's the tension building is so good, and I literally just, I'm ready for the spice. Give it to me. I'm waiting for it. I'm ready for it. But it's small town romance as well. Like I love the whole atmosphere, the whole vibe. Everything about this book is literally so good. I can already tell this is going to be my favorite of the three in the series. And like I mentioned before, the other two were already 5-star reads for me. It's so good. I'm loving it so much. I was intimidated by the almost 600 pages, but now I'm like, is 600 pages even gonna be enough of them for me? Because I just love both of their characters so much. It's so good. I just wanted to come on, check in, say I'm loving it. There was the cutest scene between Cal and Cammy last night that I was reading, and I was like, oh my god, I'm like literally like my heart is melting as I'm reading it. So really enjoying this one, and I will check in with you guys in a little bit. I'm literally squatting in front of my bookshelf to wrap this vlog up. I did finish the final offer a couple of days ago. It was a 5-star read. I will give it that. I will say I loved the first half more than like the second half, but I can't necessarily pinpoint why. I think I was feeling like there was so much tension building and leading up to the first half, and then the second half just felt like even for being like a almost 600 page book, I just felt like the ending felt like a little bit rushed, which was like my only critique I really have of the book. Other than that, loved it. Cal is by far my favorite of the brothers, although I did really come to love Declan and Rowan even more through like Cal's point of view as well. Love Lana, love Cammy, love the whole relationship in this book, and I'm very excited for Lauren Asher's next series. Overall, this series was a 5-star series for me. Highly recommend Final Offer. I feel like it could be because it was like one of the first books that I read and really was a 5-star for me in quite some time, but I'm trying to decide if this left me with more of a feeling or if the Final Offer did. Not the Final Offer, the fine print. I'm like, ooh, I think this was my favorite. Cal is my favorite brother, and Cal and Alana's relationship is my favorite relationship, but I'm trying to decide if book 1 was indeed my favorite. All 5-star reads for me. Again, 5-star series, but that is gonna wrap it up for today's and this reading vlog. I'm gonna try and do another monthly reading vlog. We'll see how it goes. I actually did have a lot of fun filming this monthly reading vlog and do plan to do it again for March. Leave me your feedback on anything else you'd like me to include in these vlogs. Maybe more like updates, what I'm doing, I don't know. Hopefully I read more books in the month of March, but that is gonna wrap it up for this reading vlog. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to watch and for supporting me. I love you guys so much, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.